What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 3 of From the Forest to the Tide, a Dirigo Union podcast. Mitchell here with Josh and Charles. We are live at the Portland Zoo. We just got done watching the Saturday games, having a few drinks. Ogasuya is cooking up some Nigerian barbecue. The vibes are off the fucking charts. Let's get a swear word in early. We're not monetized. We're just super excited to be back. Yeah. There's a ton going on and coming up from Hearts and from local soccer, so we're just super excited to be back. The Premier League's back. Footy is back in full swing. Boys, how are we doing?
Great, man. I had a coaching course this morning, drove down to be here, and just happy to be at the zoo. I think this is the place to be if you love soccer in Portland, you know?
Yeah.
So if
the zoo's been around for us for a few years now, at least.
Yeah.
It's a great place to come watch soccer. We're usually around here most weekends, I would say.
Absolutely. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. If Liverpool are playing at 7 a.m., I get my ass up at 5 a.m., I get in the car, and I come down to the zoo. That's how it goes. If you're not here,
dressed
you're
like
missing
that,
out.
always.
Yeah, look at me. I'm rocking the new zoo merch. Last run on the long sleeves, comfort colors.
Yeah.
We got butterflies on the back. I'm not going to get up and turn around. I'm not doing my little dance, but last opportunity on the new Portland Zoo drop. So if you want some Portland Zoo merch to rock throughout the fall, get it while it lasts.
It's a great place for all fans, too. You know, it's not like some of the other bars in town where it's like a dedicated club goes to it.
100%.
We have a lot of different clubs coming here, and they have some great beers as well, as Mitch just spills down the front of his shirt.
We're keeping that.
Yeah.
It's because you're wearing shades in the middle of the day.
You know what?
Yeah. We're removing the shades.
Not in the middle of the day, I
now.
mean over here in the shadows.
I have terrible depth perception. If you're an optometrist, I need to have my eyes examined.
To be honest, it's really dark in these. No wonder you spilled.
They're polarized. $10 on Amazon, baby.
That'll
Best
get ya.
sunglasses there are.
So come down to the zoo, right? Meet some
Yes.
members of the Dirigo Union, meet some
Yeah,
fans of the
that's-
Hearts.
that's the
I mean,
story.
Come
That's the
down
story we're trying to
here on
achieve.
the weekends. It's definitely the place to be.
Yeah.
Footy's in full swing. They're open on Saturdays, usually 7:30 a.m. for the first kickoff. Sorry, still wiping Opry seltzer off my chin. Sundays usually open for the second kickoff, 10 a.m.
If there's a big game at
If there's a big
7:30,
game,
but
they'll open
usually
up.
that isn't on Saturday, right? So
But no, this is the spot to be. We got Nigerian barbecue on deck, like good drinks. Like the Bird's gonna be coming back soon. He's gonna be coming off the ocean. So if you know Bird, if you know, he's gonna be back soon.
we got
Get
the
down to the
official
zoo.
heart behind us too, which
Yeah,
is worth pointing
yeah.
out.
Anybody
I think.
that recognizes that from the brand release, we've got the Dirigo heart behind us. It's a little homage to the Maine State flag.
Oh, it is
But with
lit
a
up
heart.
right now.
It is
I thought
lit up.
Yeah, okay. they
It
turned
is.
on.
It's
Good,
just
good.
the camera sucks. We'll get that ironed out. You
but-
can't really tell. The colors are not correct. It looks like a 1950s fun town. You know, it looks like an amusement park lighting, but that is white and red neon. If you it just fixed. It just
It
fixed
did just
itself.
fix
That's 'cause
Oh
the
my
light is-
goodness.
It's probably auto white balance, which it's changing as the temperature changes. So yeah, we'll clean it up in the future. We did get some Hearts news though.
We do have some incredible Hearts news on the horizon. September 6th, Heartsapalooza. If you have your season ticket deposit placed, it's just $25. 74% of season tickets have been deposited already. So if you're planning on getting in on the action, want to be a part of the inaugural Hearts of Pine season, place your $25 deposit now. Heartsapalooza is where they're going to be releasing the season ticket information. So if you want to know where all the seats are going to be, how much each package is going to cost, the benefits that come with being a season ticket holder, that's just like the business end of it. The fun end, there's going to be soccer activities throughout the day, food trucks, music, over $1,000 in giveaways, new merch items,
Drinks.
and a free drink.
It sounded like they're having pretty good discount on merch too.
Yes, yeah. So
Good chance to
good chance on that.
get some
so
good double down and
get
more
in
stuff.
early, folks. Get in early. You don't want to miss out on the
This
inaugural
is the time.
season.
This is the time to get involved.
We have like 6 months until kickoff.
It's
at
gonna
this
fly
point.
by.
5 years ago, we were talking about the
Right.
thought of it, and now we're 180 days away.
Did you say the date of Heartsapalooza on the 6th?
September 6th.
September 6th.
It's a Friday, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yep.
Come on down. The Dirigo Union is going to be doing a pretty big event within that. So if you are a Dirigo Union member and want to get involved in the festivities, let us know. A lot of information is being shared in the Discord, and I'm sure we're going to be sending out an email when we have the specific details ironed out. But expect drums, expect chants, expect smoke,
Pyro.
Ooh, smoke is good.
all the good stuff.
First pyro of the Dirigo Union history, I think.
It is.
gonna be
It
a big
100% is. And this is the opportunity to practice. We're running out of practice time for match night 1.
That's true. So
at
if-
Fitzpatrick. So,
Events in person where all this stuff is going on, like you said, the chances are running
Yep.
slim. So we definitely want to leave
Yeah.
a mark, get everybody down there who can get down there. So be involved, please.
I hear Sailor Hearts might be on the docket. The Heart Attack.
Yeah, a couple chants.
Couple of things. So all of our chants are up on our website. If you're not a member yet, dirigounion.com. Sign up online. We have access to a members-only Discord. We're going to be opening up membership and just polishing everything up before we head into 2025. So get in early.
I think it's somebody's birthday.
Yeah.
It's either a birthday or an engagement
They're not
party.
clapping for us, I'll tell you that.
No,
Yeah,
God,
no.
no.
I'd like to think maybe, but no.
The soccer crowd has shifted out for the day, I think.
Yeah, it's backyard boogie time, recess
Yeah.
time at the zoo. So, no, let's tuck in, boys.
Yes.
That's it on Heartsapalooza. If you need more information, let us know. Get connected with us on our website. info@dirigounion.com is our email. Or let us know if you're in the Discord. Dirigo Union on all socials. We'd love to hear from you. Make sure you're getting involved ahead of time. Be one of the first Hearts of Pine ultras.
Yeah.
Really,
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
Ultras.
just get in early. Be somebody people are scared of on match day. Be loud, be intense, be passionate. We are the Hearts of Pine.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the message. Yeah, 74% of season ticket deposits have been placed.
I'd like to
boys.
hear that.
That's pretty crazy, just with how fast that's gone. And you think about, I wonder when we get to kickoff if there's going to be a wait list for new
Absolutely.
season ticket holders.
There will. I think so.
By the time we get to kickoff, there 100% will be a wait list.
It's very exciting. As all three Liverpool fans, we always hear about the wait list to get season tickets at Anfield. So
Biased
it's,
panel today, boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exciting to see that at our club too. The excitement's too big, almost the demand's too high.
It's palpable.
It's a good
Yeah.
problem to have.
Yeah, very good problem to have.
There were a couple other things as far as Hearts go trickled through. There was I don't know if it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago now. The Portland Press Herald had an article, and there were a couple little tidbits in there that some people might find interesting. The first being that anticipating spending close to $2.5 million in renovation of Fitzpatrick, which is a chunk of change.
When they only pledged $1 million, right? That was the initial
That's what I
deal.
thought. Yep.
So just hearing something like that is reassuring, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
If it's community in mind, which it has been the message since day one, then this is the right way to go about it. If they've committed to at least $1 million and they're saying, "Nah, we're going to double that and put some work into Fitzpatrick, make sure it's a venue that people want to come out to, support our club as well as help the community, the high school clubs that are still playing there throughout the fall." I love that. That's a great message to be spreading. There's a lot of
Absolutely.
work that needs to go into Fitzy. In general, even if the Hearts weren't coming to town.
Right.
So
Yeah, to bring
the
it to that level, yeah.
The effort they're putting in to make sure locker rooms are taken care of, the upgrades to the lighting, the pitch, the track is taken care of. All good things. Wi-Fi, I know, is another big thing. If Bass
sure.
was here last week, and the fact that the broadcast booth is like one big gust away from falling in.
Yeah,
I think that's where that and the changing rooms is where a lot of the budget, is going to be spent.
100%.
So, which is super important. Let's see what else they said. They kind of alluded that the first home game, to the date of that, would be taking place in late April or May.
that makes sense
So,
too. With
yeah.
just who we have in the league, we can make those first few games probably road games to warmer places before it's acceptable to play soccer in Maine, which is probably late April, May.
This is kind of bullshit because I was planning on wearing my Carhartt bibs to match day one.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sure
was
it'll be
expecting
plenty cold
snowball.
still. Well, you never know. It's
There's
going
going to be opportunities, and my hot weather gear is going to be a pair of Grundens. So
Grundens.
As long as you wear those sunglasses.
As long as I'm
coming to
wearing
see you.
something that resembles overalls, I'm good. And if it's, fleece line Carhartt bibs or a pair of lobstering Grundens, I'm protected.
I like seeing the designs, by the way, that are going on in the Union Discord.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good designs coming through. I like the red, some of the red and white colorings that being seen as like an away
the kit stuff.
Yeah.
We have
I
a
can
lot of
see that
people
as
excited about the concept kits.
I could see that as a goalie kit too. Like that flannel goalie kit Sam put out.
That one in particular was very good. So that was very, very good.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I like the idea of working the flannel design.
No,
it.
there's just so much to celebrate right now, and so much to get excited about. We don't have players, we don't have a manager, but the dreams of what could be should be enough to get you through until those things come out.
Agreed.
There's a lot going on at the Union, though, so we figured we'd talk a little bit about that this podcast as well. Get people informed, what's coming, what's
a lot
down
has
the
happened
pipeline.
in the last couple of weeks. As we said with Heartsapalooza, like we just placed our first order of smoke devices, right? Like
So exciting.
Whose name's on that? Who had to sign the waiver? Who had to put their life
So
file
we
with
are
the- register with
going
the
to need to
FBI?
do some logistic work and behind the scenes signing things eventually to make sure that we're playing buddy with the league rules and making sure that we have our bases covered. But this isn't a USL event.
Can I bring a chicken in?
Chicken.
Yeah, that was years ago when I went to a Sheffield Wednesday game. A guy had a cock on his. Well, lots of guys have cocks, but this one had a cock on his shoulder. No, for real. And I was like,
Love that.
I'll never forget it. So
I've always respected the dudes that walk around with birds on their shoulders.
right.
I didn't There's just like infinite aura associated with that.
There's a lot of birds, though. A chicken, though. That's a choice bird.
I think it was a chicken.
Sure.
I was a young, ignorant boy, so maybe it was a different kind of.
maybe we start
foul
taming
bird.
chickadees.
Feels like a chicken is a thick bird to have.
It
on your
looked like a
shoulder.
chicken. It looked like
No, let's go something
was a big-
smaller. Let's start training chickadees to perch on our shoulders for games. State bird, little
would
black
be-
cap chickadee.
I'd be all about
action. But speaking of state animals, there was a.
Where are you going with
I have
this?
no idea where this is headed.
I am a state animal. Look at me. No,
The
there was a
Liber
great
bird.
picture of Ten Hag today with a Brighton supporter sitting directly behind him with a seagull mask on.
Yeah. That was
Got
pretty
me-
good.
It was
I like
beautiful.
that.
Beautiful juxtaposition. But no, it kind of got me thinking, what do we think about like dressing up in our supporter section and like moose masks and bears?
I told you, I want a
deer.
big moose helmet that people can throw rings onto.
Yeah.
And I think the moose is huge.
This is an idea Mitch has been on for a while now,
sitting
so
on it.
everybody knows.
I'm sitting on it. But if I show up night one wearing like a bear pelt, you shouldn't be surprised. There's
Very
nothing
Maine.
to be
It's
surprised
very
about.
Maine. We have a lot of match day ideas right now floating around.
We have a ton of match day.
If you have a bear
ideas.
pelt,
Yes.
call Mitchell.
I know my sister got a bear tag last fall. At the end of September, she did get pulled in this year's moose lottery, so she has a bull moose up in Aroostook County.
Really?
So
The county.
and the shout out Potatoeville, USA.
I'm intimidated by your sister.
My sister's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Love her. She's crazy. But no, she actually asked me to go on her moose hunt this year. So end of September, I might be going up to Aroostook on a moose hunt.
It sounds like a podcast episode. Mitch hunting. Moose hunting with Mitch.
Walking around. Thank you to Ogasuya for being here too. Quick shout out.
Is that
my
food?
chicken.
Did he bring us
that
food?
Is, that is
How
my,
did he know I was
That is
hungry?
my wings and jollof rice.
Oh, there you go.
Ogasuya has been a staple of the zoo, and we appreciate them being out here. If you haven't tried that Nigerian barbecue, please.
Yeah, and the zoo beer is great.
Very.
Drink some.
But back to moose hunt. Sorry, definitely not a soccer topic. But
No, I think the title, the moose hunting with Mitch, should be something.
I'm not allowed to do anything. I don't have the tag. This is my sister's show. But
That should be the like the player watch show when we're looking for like the transfer show should be called Moose Hunting with Mitch.
hunting for the the trophies out in the wild. Seeing if we can get any player sightings off the Portland Jetport
Sure.
flights. But no, I'm super excited. I may be gone for a week. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. I haven't said yay or nay.
Well,
I
good
don't want
luck.
to be the reason she doesn't get one. I know it's rare, but
Hope she gets her moose.
I mean, the moose lottery in Maine is something huge.
No, it is.
For
I know
people-
it is. I know.
For people that live here and aren't in the hunting culture, I know it's not for everybody. But like to get a bull moose permit in Maine is something huge, and she's actually
not a significant amount of the permits that they
no,
release.
there's
It's
a
hard
ver-
to get.
It's a lottery. It's
Yeah.
like that's. I would rather get a moose permit than win the lottery locally. If I'm being completely
I
honest.
disagree with you.
Feeds,
I think
that
that's-
feeds a family for a year and a half. Like,
So
if
does
you
the
get-
lottery.
Is that $1 million?
I think
Well,
the
tax takes up. Nobody's coming to take any of
I
your
don't know
moose
if
meat.
I don't know if moose meat's worth $600,000 even if you're taking tax.
I'm with Josh. I'm taking the money.
If I win the lottery, I'm buying like
A moose, it sounds like.
No, I'm buying a player for our club. If that's what I get lottery money with.
What does a USL league or a USL one player cost?
That's a great question. We're probably going to find out. I mean,
Next
in the coming
week, you
months.
should
think-
tune in to the
Yeah,
USL.
tune in next week. We've got some big things planned. No, I think that's something that we actually should dive into and make sure that the USL isn't something that everybody is aware of. A lot of us have come together under the Premier League umbrella.
Right.
It's just the easiest product to access, I guess, in terms of footy, and the growth from the game has gone exponentially over the last couple of years. So, educating folks, especially locally, about what the USL is, what product they're going to be seeing on the pitch next year, I think is wholly important. Wholly important
That means very important, right?
in Portland.
Mitch, I like seeing you like this, man.
I'm hot. I wore black. I didn't check the weather before I came down to the zoo this morning.
It's a warm day down here in Portland.
No,
It is a warm day. I'm sweating, and I'm a big dude. I don't do well in hot weather. We're going to talk about the USL.
Yes,
We're going to get
we'll
there, Charles. We're all having a long day.
You know, so we if you have get your USL questions into
Yeah.
the podcast chat. So that podcast talk in the Discord, we want to know what questions you guys have about USL. You know, how much does a USL league player cost? It's a great question. Managers, we're going to talk a little bit about managers here. We put that call out there. We got some responses.
Yep. We'll dive into that.
But the plan is to have a USL specific episode.
Yeah, the
in
important-
either the next one or coming up here pretty soon.
important things. The what do the divisions look like?
Mm-hmm.
What does a team look like? Where are players being kind of scouted from? Or is it college? Is it international? Like, the
Is your
nitty-gritty.
mascot a moose and you're mad at us right now because we're
Who are you going to be seeing at Fitzpatrick Stadium next season? The important things.
all right? So back to the Union specifically.
Yes.
What's coming up? Because there are some things coming up we can
So-
inform people about.
We already touched on Heartsapalooza. If you want to be one of the loud, rambunctious fans, let us know.
Please.
Please. The other thing is a supporters-specific event coming up the week after. Details TBD. We'll be sending info out on that once we know more. But
Is the date nailed down?
the
I just like to
date-
give dates.
The date is nailed down, I do believe.
Okay. Are we saying the date here?
I don't know if I can.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know if it's completely ironed out, but
The weekend after the 6th.
the weekend after the 6th, there's going to be a supporters season ticket event. So anybody that's purchased a Heart season ticket deposit in the supporter section will be invited to it. And there's going to be more info to come on that. It's, I believe, the 14th is the day we're looking, so Saturday.
We're
not
also
a
going to have an
Friday.
upcoming event for scarf pickup party, I guess you
Oh,
could
nice.
say.
Nice.
So I guess we can update here on the podcast as well.
Oh, yeah, exclusive.
Yeah. So we put an Instagram story up a couple days ago, kind of updating everyone on the scarf situation. Had a couple hiccups in production as we kind of learned this for the first time. But
happens.
the scarves are coming. They are being delivered soon. They're coming from Istanbul, so bear with us while we kind of figure it all out.
Shout out 05 one time, sorry.
Yeah. So we're we're figuring that out. Once the scarves come in, we're going to nail down a date for a scarf pickup party just to save on mailing costs and stuff. And then we'll let all you guys know when that's going to be. Should be fun, though. And we'll take a big photo with all the scarves, hopefully. Yeah, pretty excited about that.
Get a scarf up here in the zoo. If
Yeah.
you know, you know.
Yeah, we've got to get some scarves to the local bars and stuff. But we're really excited about that. It's going to be nice to see the scarves out and about because we saw the Portland Hearts one, obviously. But I think it's going to be the first time a lot of people see this one because we put the post out about buying them, but
Which was your significant other, right?
yeah, she did design it.
Yeah, I just
so
think it's a great design. That
It
stuck
is.
with me
It's very
when
nice.
when you told me that in episode 1 that was her. She did a great job.
Yeah, it's nice. It's from the forest to the tide on the scarf as well. For those that don't know, so we're kind of sticking with that theme
Little
for some significant
serendipitous.
things. Yeah, exactly. So we're really excited to launch that and get those in people's hands and see them out in the wild.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's full on to 2025. Where from the DU side of things, we've been working really hard lately on getting our committees off the ground. So, match day committee has been working on, what is game night 1 going to be looking like? Planning out, the game night atmosphere when it comes to timing of chance. When are we going to be creating that noise when somebody is in our attacking third? Like when we're on a defensive break, like we need to bring that energy and help our players across the line. So that's what match day committee's been working on. Obviously, you see what the content side of the DU has been working on. We've been trying to put out some really solid content for you guys. And then we have our community engagement working on projects with our local soccer communities. I know there's been some talk with KP about a potential fall event. So keep that in mind as we move past Labor Day next week and into the fall. There's going to be a lot going on, both with the DU and the club. A lot of information coming out. So please stay tuned. Make sure you're up to date, following the Hearts of Pine, the DU on social media. Join both mailing lists. That's going to be your best way to keep up to date with everything going on throughout the summer as we lead up to kickoff next year. And then just getting everybody active.
Yep.
It's been a challenge up to this point. With the amount of work it's taken, I think a lot of us underestimated what it takes to put together a supporters group and start a nonprofit from scratch. So if you have a voice, if you're a soccer supporter, if you're local in the Portland area, I mean, I'm not even in the Portland area. I'm an hour north. Charles is from Rockland. He's got like a 2-hour commute.
I'm from Damerscott.
Sorry, there is
I'm
a town line.
An hour north. Rockland is further north. I'm from the mid-coast. You damn northerner.
So it's not just Portland. It's not just Portland. We're all from across the state.
Yeah, it's a big
have
place.
different backgrounds. And
That's the whole
have come
point of this.
together through the love of the game. So if you want to get involved, let us know.
Are we
Now's
talking
the time.
about membership dues or anything like that today?
I don't know if we're talking membership dues. I will put in that, the Dirigo Union is working toward its 501c7 status. So we are working toward nonprofit status. However, it's a little different from a 501c3. All of our money comes from within. It's like a social club. So every bit of money that we get from membership dues, merch sales, goes back into our organization.
Birthday time
See,
again.
people are excited about
That's
that.
just an Arsenal guy. He's got an Arsenal shirt on. He's just happy they won today. They should not have won today,
Yeah, it was
but he's happy they won
Close
today.
game, though.
But,
Villa had some chances.
The money that we do get goes back. Hey, guys.
Sorry.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Week 2.
Sensitive.
Week 2.
I know it's way too early. It's way too early to be upset.
The money that we do receive from membership fees and merch sales goes right back to making it a better experience for game
Right, of
night.
course.
So that helps us buy our smoke, buy our drums, our noisemakers, merch items.
If we're gonna hang at the zoo, we should get for this podcast a little bucket that says "Feed the animals," and you guys can donate.
Yeah, we
to
are the
keep
animals
us on
you
the
want
air.
to feed.
and to keep the union
But
going.
it's not about keeping us going. I think the ultimate goal right now is really just building the community.
No, of course.
To start,
I tease.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure if it's accessible to you. I will say one thing about membership. The big plan is if you are unable to afford membership, we are setting up a plan in place to donate membership. So members that would like to pay for somebody else's membership, there is going to be infrastructure in place to allow us to gift a membership to somebody that we know is deserving of it. So we'll get all that information out when it becomes available. But the whole message from the get-go has been community, inclusivity, making sure those that want to be the loudest, most vibrant supporters in USL football, giving them a platform to do so. And that is what the Dirigo Union is all about. So
just stay tuned on socials and stuff.
Yep.
Because news will be coming soon on that.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
There was some other stuff we wanted to talk about that was going on kind of in a broader soccer sense, just that's been going, also from a U.S. perspective, but not necessarily. But Mitch, what did you have, or excuse me, not Mitch, but Josh, on NWSL?
Yeah, so there was some pretty groundbreaking news this week on the NWSL, their new CBA.
And what's the CBA?
Collective bargaining agreement between the players in the league. And there's just some key points. I'm not going to get too inside baseball with this, but basically the big points are that the salaries were increased. I know the minimum salary was increased. I think I want to say from 45,000 to over 80. That's pretty significant for the minimum contract.
Yeah, almost double.
They also they removed the draft to give players basically more choice of where they start their careers and stuff, which I think is that's again a very European move. But I think it's great, and I think the MLS should. They're not going to, but follow suit.
Right.
Because again, you're giving players more choice. Players are going to be happy. I just like the
MLS
vibe.
next.
Yeah, it allows you to develop talent better, I think, too, because if you can transition a player from the academy directly into a team rather than doing the college thing.
Yeah.
Because college soccer in America, I think, is a little bit broken in terms of translating those players then into the MLS or NWSL. So I think it's pretty groundbreaking stuff because, again, this is our top women's league. We want to see it do well. This is just going to enable them to do even better.
It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and I agree wholeheartedly. Sorry, I keep saying that. Why is that? in my brain?
holy.
It's my stim today. I don't know. But I think the college system is broken. The way the grassroots footy is structured in America is broken, and I think this is a step in the right direction for especially women's sports. I feel like this is a very significant, CBA. Since Title IX was introduced, right?
Agreed.
Like this is putting female athletes in their prime position to maximize their potential, if you will.
Yeah.
Renegotiating this, making it a fair playing field, and especially in America when the women's team is producing.
Yeah.
When the men's team quite literally is in the hole. It is special to see work like this getting finalized and announced as we lead into a new season. I'm
developments that
enamored.
lead in this direction, women's, men's, collegiate. It's
Anything
the right
that
direction.
advances
It's the direction
the game.
we would love to. We think advances the game. We think it's the right move.
It almost forces the U.S. Federation to really look at themselves as well on a national stage too.
Yeah.
And analyze things. Obviously, we've had some big news come out of the U.S. Soccer Federation with Pochettino getting named U.S. men's national team manager.
Which still
What a
hasn't been
transition.
officially announced.
Hasn't
which is
been announced.
I think that's making a few people nervous, maybe.
That was my first. I was, thinking about what we were going to talk about today on my long drive down from, and I was like,
18
I couldn't
hours.
answer. I was like, is it official yet?
No.
I almost wanted to try not to Google while I'm driving, but
Has Fabrizio said anything yet?
I mean, I think they just said the agreement's in place, but I think they're working out the finances. I also think there's some aspect of he's working some things out with Chelsea. That hasn't
that's what I
officially
read.
been...
they still owe him money.
Yeah, that hasn't officially been resolved, which I think is the holdup.
Yeah.
But it does look like Pochettino's going to come to the U.S. men, and I'll be the first one to give a take on this. I think it's significant because it's a household European name. It's the first time the U.S. have gone out and got a guy that just has notable experience in Europe, no international experience, but I don't really think that matters. I feel like he's the right guy because he's kind of like a program builder, less about the tactics. But I think we have the players not to worry so much about the tactics. I think he's really going to build a program with this U.S. men's team, something where there's a lot of camaraderie. You kind of saw it with the Tottenham team. I think when people think of Poch, that's what they think of.
Tottenham, yeah.
Yeah, the Champions League final team. I think he's just going to build an atmosphere where, it's pretty electric and stuff. And I think the tactics will maybe follow suit with that. But I'm super excited.
I would even equate it more to Chelsea too, like the establishing an identity through all this business that Chelsea's front office has been doing over the last couple of years. Like Poch was thrown into a job of a top club in Europe, given the reins and not given the backing almost. So he has a system that's clearly broken if they're doing that much business year in and year out. And they showed him the door. In my opinion, a little too early. I feel like Bass would be a better person to talk about his time at Chelsea.
He seemed to share. He said, how many games Poch was winning there towards the end of the season on the run. Yeah. That was a lot.
The first half of that year was underwhelming, obviously. But he did finally find his way. He found a system with the players that he had at his disposal. And I think anybody that has the experience that Poch has at the level he has it at is somebody that we could be happy with coming in and taking over this U.S. role. Yeah. Just has a very clear system that he wants to play. Very, very, dedicated manager. He understands the media side of things. He understands
very experienced.
The political side of things, obviously on a world stage. So I think if they do get this over the line, and I feel like it already is, if we have Big Raj talking about it on Twitter or X, it's I think it's over the line, and if that's the case, then I'm just excited to see what happens before we host the World Cup.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting because of the alternatives too, because we missed out on Klopp, obviously. Which I think we expected, but
I don't know if that's necessarily.
I wouldn't even. Would you say miss out?
Well, we didn't get him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just take that as like a missed opportunity, but I was like, I'm sure we tried. Yeah. I'm sure he said 9. Thank you.
But aside from that, I think after losing out on Klopp, however you want to say it, I think the other options were Cherundolo was a big one. That people were throwing around. There was a lot of names that were like the U.S. like buddies, like that little back office that they have their connections, a little nepotism in there. Yeah. And I think it's nice, it's refreshing to see them go for a completely new name. And to go from Vlatko and Berhalter to Emma Hayes and Mauricio Pochettino on the men and women's side in a single year is pretty incredible.
It feels like a bad nightmare, too, that you wake up from almost.
Josh, you mentioned European experience. You're talking about Pochettino. So, what about Klinsmann?
I think Klinsmann didn't have a bad era. I think he had a nice run.
I agree. I was just curious.
Looking back, I guess he did have it. It might honestly be like a Exhibit A, Exhibit B type thing where, I remember at the time when Klinsmann was at the helm, we were livid with what he was doing.
Yeah.
As U.S. fans back then, I remember getting a group of friends together, going out to a restaurant, watching, World Cup qualifiers or a CONCACAF match, and just screaming at the TV, Jurgen, do something. Do something.
Right.
Make a logical switch. But now that we've had the Greg Berhalter era, it's almost like, oh my fucking God, I want my old coach back.
Yeah.
I would die to have Jurgen Klinsmann come back in and erase that era. There was so much unnecessary shit that took place during the Greg Berhalter era that there's no excuse for it. anymore. We're in a time where Americans especially have full, unadulterated access to footy on a global stage.
Yeah, it's true.
The
Finally,
internet
it took a
is
long
here.
time.
Like, we have broadcasting rights. We can
Watch
it on
more
a
games than
daily
a lot of
basis.
guys in the UK, much more
Exactly.
easily. I mean, I got between Peacock and NBC, I pretty much can watch every game and
then
replays of every
you have
game
La
that I want to.
Liga and you have La Liga on
Sure.
ESPN,
Serie A on
you have Serie A
Paramount.
on
Fubo
Paramount.
TV and-
We have unadulterated access to the world game. And when we live through an era of Berhalter at the helm of our club doing what he was doing, while our players are going to some of the biggest European clubs there are, it's inexcusable. It's absolutely inexcusable.
So Pochettino is a success. I'm not talking about if he will be a success, but signing him is a success just based on where we're coming from.
Absolutely.
Really. I mean, that's how I'm looking at it. I don't really know how to feel about Pochettino. I'm mixed on him as a coach, but I'm like, that feels like a really good appointment for the men's national team based on who we had and who else was in consideration.
I don't even know. I think it's like all rumors.
Tarundolo, Patrick Vieira was in there.
Patrick-
Sorry, you
hear-
said
I did hear
Tarundolo.
I
Yeah.
did hear Vieira, and that was almost more set in
would've
stone than Jurgen Klopp was.
So I would have taken Poch over those two.
Yeah.
Obviously, Klopp would have been. I think I mentioned it on the first episode. I thought Klopp was crazy enough that he might do something like that, but
No.
I think he made it clear that
He's drinking beers and smoking cigarettes on the beach.
Yeah, true. Very true. It's a
He deserves
positive
it.
sign, though, and I think people are excited. It's going to at least create an atmosphere of energy the first couple camps. And, I mean, it's so exciting that the first game he might manage is against Canada and Jesse Marsh.
yeah,
That's a possibility.
That's who I was hoping for. With all the Canada scandal, at the end of the day, Jesse Marsh, I was hoping he would get shipped out because they had so many sanctions against them. And
He's so adamant, though, that he will not come back under this administration.
And
of
I don't
the
blame
US
him.
Soccer.
I don't blame him. That's a great boundary to set because what the U.S. Soccer Federation has given us as supporters of the game is a slap in the face.
Yeah.
It's disgusting, especially with this golden era of players that we have. This is insane with the amount of players we have playing in the top leagues for top clubs, getting starting minutes on the world stage, and then just like fumbling the bag. That's why I think signing Poch, the biggest asset we get is player management, time management.
Agreed.
He understands the system. He understands how to manage those players. I don't think I ever questioned his substitutions. I questioned his tactics, and maybe
Yeah,
that's
sure.
our downfall. Maybe he adjusts them with what he
he-
has at his disposal.
absolutely.
But at the end of the day, like, we're getting a proven manager who has world experience.
Chelsea damaged him a bit, though, didn't they?
That's Chelsea. That's
just
the
Chelsea.
Todd Bowley era at Chelsea is something we could dive into a whole episode about. It's insane.
The video of them all at the gym training together is so funny. There's just 45 guys.
and the
in
meme in our
a
Discord
barn.
about like the Chelsea locker room, there's like 700 fucking
I wonder if
players in
Poch
there.
is just curious. He's like, are all Americans like this? Like, we're gonna
potentially.
maybe that's why he's taking
But at
the
least I
national
know that
team
the
over.
people at the zoo have brains.
Yeah, but we could be in charge.
Yeah, can we get signed on as U.S. Soccer Federation, like
Advisors.
consultants,
Yeah.
advisors, something?
That'd be great.
I'll tell you what. After doing a coaching course, part of the national, the coaching courses, and how they, if you guys have any experience with it, listeners will understand too. It's insanely difficult to register. They change forms that you'll need. Like, you won't even know you'll need a form. You can attend something and fail it based on a form, an insignificant form. The level in which it's so there's roadblocks that keep people who want to be involved from getting involved. Like, it's part of, on a grassroots level, all the way up, it seems, there are issues there that keep people from getting involved, and people who have experience, people who would be, helpful.
Yeah.
So I just feel bad. It's a little bit of I have very little insight into it, but the little bit of I have, it falls right in line with that. Right, that the system needs some work, all the way down to the grassroots level.
That's one thing we can all agree on.
Yeah.
As footy fans, like understanding the game, like when you start supporting footy, it takes some time to learn the game, but once you figure it out and talk to enough people, Zoo a great forum because like you have fans from every fucking club that show up here.
Yeah.
Arsenal jerseys.
There's so many Arsenal
so many
fans.
Arsenal fans
go
out
to
and
Dock
about.
4. You have.
It was nice a couple years ago when they were less outright about their support for Arsenal. Too.
Yeah, stay back to your fucking Twitter pages. But anyway, no, like I think the more we have these conversations and the more the game grows locally, the more on the spot the U.S. Soccer Federation is going to be when it comes to making
There's only
these
one way to go.
decisions. If we want to have a stroke of a chance when we're hosting the World Cup, I think at this current point in time, Poch is probably the best person that there is available to appoint to this position. And if it goes through, I'm excited for it.
If it doesn't go through, it's a huge failure.
It is. If
Off with the heads.
if Poch doesn't actually get over the line, excuse me,
Maybe it's Chelsea's fault.
I find it hard to see anybody with a brain that follows the game on an international level to want to show up to their closest World Cup venue and support the U.S.
Yeah.
And if we're hosting a World Cup and you don't have the backing of the local fans, that is a major problem. That is an insanely major problem.
We'll get behind it. Americans are good about that. I mean, like
Americans
as far
are
as
great
showing support,
about it, but the USSF is very good at not listening to what the people want. This exchange of managers and getting Greg out, this has been a 4 or 5 year campaign at this point.
But this is a step in the right direction.
It
I
is
think
a
we
step
need
in
to
the
make
right
that.
direction. So I think we're all kind of holding our tongues a little bit and hoping for the best. I wanted BJ after his showing with the whole Gio Reyna mom and dad being agents situation. I wanted to back BJ. He's 1-0, undefeated as U.S. manager.
Mm-hmm.
But good luck to him in Nashville. I think it's a good role for him. MLS is a safe space for him, so it is what it is. It's been a fiasco for we're encroaching 10 years.
Yeah.
So we need some time. We need something to change, and now is the time.
up with Poch then.
I'll be the biggest Poch supporter there is.
What about Hearts managers? We put a call out. We got some names.
We did.
It's a more of a niche discussion at this point, right? Because
It is.
certainly more than the men's national team position. Certainly more than when you're talking about coaches coming into the Premier League or other, giant leagues around the world. But there were some names. Does anybody have them off the top of their head?
I think Mitch is pulling them up right now.
I'm working.
I have them too.
Oh, perfect.
And there were some good names.
Lead us
put
into
out there.
battle, Charles.
All right. So first, thanks for putting this article together too.
Yes, thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Rob. Shout out Rob
Shout
one time
out
for
Rob.
the one time. He
Get
is
your ass on the podcast.
I think he will be here.
He's usually
eventually.
lurking in the background somewhere. Are you here?
Usually.
Are you here? All right. So he's got a great list.
Rob has been a blessing working on this.
Right, and I think a few of these names were mentioned outside of this particular letter, just in the Discord itself. But he starts off with guys that are local, with Alex Ryan of Seacoast United Phantoms. So obviously this guy, I say obviously, I shouldn't say that, but he's one name I do know because he won last season. He won some silverware with the in the USL League too.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's local. He won the USL 2 national championship. And you can, there's more about him in the Discord. You could read more about him as well. But I think that's as solid a shout as anybody on a local scene.
Sure.
And you guys think that anybody in USL 2? I mean, what's the vibe? I mean, we really don't know. But like, where do you think Hearts? Do you feel like they'll pull somebody from a higher level down, higher at the same level, or would they pull somebody? They open to all the above. There's no way we would know this. I'm just curious what your gut is.
So, being somewhat local, growing up, Seacoast is a name I'm familiar with.
Yeah. I found out about it right after moving here 20 years ago. They had a great league in Topsom and a facility that honestly had seen better days. But that was the place
That
to
was
go.
like frozen ropes in Lewiston, Auburn too. Like when I grew up a baseball.
Well, it was a
kid, so it's the
giant
same
dome,
thing.
and I think it was inflated, right? And the surface, I think, at one point was artificial, artificial grass, as opposed to. But it was just a flat. You had to wear. You couldn't wear studs on it. People did. I don't know how they did that, but at the time it was so worn in. But anyway, beside the point.
They handed a $5 bill to the official. That's how.
Did he take off his clothes?
No, the official let him wear studs.
Oh, that's a $2 bill. Sorry.
Loonies and toonies if you go further north.
But no, honestly, what's your sense of it? Like I said, there's no way of knowing, but I feel like I just feel like the Hearts are gonna grab somebody who has experience at USL League One or higher.
I don't necessarily think so. I think it's a good opportunity, especially if you're winning silverware at the USL 2 level, in the direction that the pyramid in USL is going.
Mm-hmm.
If we're gonna add 5 expansion franchises with the expectation that 3 of them each year stick around.
Mm-hmm.
And grow to a position where pro rel is.
Oh, that breeze feels good. Sorry. No.
Tell me about it. You guys will have
This is
short
annoying
sleeve
for people
kits
who are
on.
just listening. It's annoying for people who are watching.
I'm wearing a
I feel
Comfort
good.
Colors long sleeve black T-shirt. I am sweating my balls off.
I hope you are. Couldn't happen to a
But
nicer
no,
guy.
like I don't think it's off the table in terms of looking within the U.S. I actually think that is more of a realistic appointment for a manager. Is looking
I'd be happy
at USL
with that
too, and providing a stepping stone to advance your game with the idea in mind that hey, maybe the 10-year plan is pro rel is a thing, and you'll have an opportunity to move up.
God, I hope
This
so.
is a natural opportunity to move up. If you're a proven winner, and they had a gritty season, I think they won in extra time or penalties 3-2.
I think that's right. Yeah. I don't have that written down.
I can't remember
Apologies.
off the top of my head. It's been a little bit, but if you're winning the league below
Extra time
where
3-2. It is here. Extra time 3-2. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Rob. Shout out Rob again. If that's kind of like the baseline that we're going off of, I'm not worried about that. USL 2 to the natural transition would be go to the next level.
Yeah.
So if we're getting somebody that is managing a local club in a league lower than where the Hearts are playing, sign me up.
And don't you think without pro rel, that's like you win it?
Yeah,
you're going to want to step up.
Rel, yes.
No, but I feel
100%.
like if there was pro rel, there's more incentive to stay with that team. You've built it. You're going to take them over. And obviously, a lot of managers move on after promotion, or because they get signed by somebody else. But I'm just thinking in this case, I have to remind my brain thinking about there is not. So he's back with these guys, not where he started. That's not fair. But he's not moving up a division.
No.
So there might be more incentive to come to the Hearts.
For me, I could care less about experience. I just want him to play attractive football. I think
Amen.
the football ideas have to be there.
Did you guys watch any
pressing,
Seacoast
possession.
games?
I haven't
No, I
been
have
able to
not.
get involved with Seacoast.
Sure.
yet.
I'm just curious because I have no idea if he plays attractive
Yeah.
football. or
I think
not.
that's what it comes down to. Just like the willingness to play young players, maybe local young players, and
his
just
team's pretty
attractive
young.
football ideas. Like
Yeah.
interchanging positions, possession, pressing. I think that's what we all
It's not
want.
throwing 10, 11 dudes behind the ball
Yeah.
and hoping we don't concede a goal.
Sure. I think we want to go for it, right? And I think
And-
that's a bigger step.
Yeah,
almost,
yeah.
than-
No, I would agree with Josh on that. And at the end of the day, I think the product of the USL 1 as a whole is a good place to do that. Mm-hmm. You want to experiment. You want to see what works, what doesn't work. And I think what fans are going to get out of a USL 1 game is just that. Like, if you look at it like the structure we have already with the Sea Dogs or the Red Claws or the Mariners, it's a AA level. You have the USL Championship, and then you have like MLS. Obviously, has been an established kind of top dog in the U.S. soccer space for quite some time. But I will say that the USL has been expanding and growing their product, and locally clubs from the USL1 have gone up to the USL Championship. It's trending in the right direction where it's a product that is fast-paced. You have young players looking to advance their careers, make a statement. You have high-scoring games. You have a lot of free kick goals, a lot of set-piece goals, a lot of open play. You're going to see high-scoring games. You're going to see. It's not going to be a buttoned-up product that the Premier League or La Liga, Serie A, very defensive brand of football is putting out. It's going to be high-scoring games. You're going to see, 5-3. You're going to see 4-2s. You're gonna see a lot of goals because it's guys that are young, hungry, wanting to make it to that next level and make a name for themselves. So I'm less concerned about the manager. I'm more concerned about the manager handling the product in front of him and making sure that we're competitive within our means.
Agreed.
How long does this new manager get?
3 years.
Yeah, I think a while. I think
That's a long time.
It is a long time, but I think
We're going to be looking back at this episode.
Yep.
It's also less reactionary.
2 years.
2 years from today.
2 years from today.
Today, August 24th, 2024.
2026.
Yeah.
2 years, 2026, and we'll see if he's in his second year, moving on to year number 3, or if we're whoever it is.
There's no need to be reactionary because it's not without ProRel at this moment. There's no financial incentive to not, going down or going up. As long as things go in the right direction and the football's good and, we're building our youth development, stuff like that, I think then you keep the manager.
Right.
Which I think is a trend you see a
100%.
lot of United States teams do.
And I mean, I'll even touch on like my time with the Mariners. Like that first 3 years before COVID, we stuck. We didn't make the playoffs the first 2 years, if I can remember correctly.
Don't look at me.
And then COVID happened, and then there was managerial change. Like these farm teams locally, don't typically stick around with a head coach or a particular system, because I think at the grassroots level or the lower levels that aren't as polished or like dedicated to putting out the best product possible, they're more focused on creating that relationship with the fans, with the local community. So, and it's hard to do that when you have a revolving door of, of people.
I think what we'll do is because we have this list of names and
I don't want to spoil Rob's whole
exactly. That's
too.
what I don't want to do that either.
Be on the lookout for the new newsletter article.
Yeah, absolutely. But I was just going to say that Alex is the only of the Seacoast, the one guy we talked about, really was the only name I was really that familiar with. But I'll say that I don't want to go through them all because I don't want to spoil the article, as you say. And also, it might be great to get the guys who are, if we get them on the podcast, they're going to talk about USL 1 that are the most familiar with it, to also talk about some of the managers because they have really good experience. They're going to have guys that mean a little bit more 100%. To them than what we'll talk about today. So we'll shelf that a little bit, I think.
Yep.
But still, super, super interesting.
Good stuff. There's a lot.
There's a lot happening.
The
episodes are going to be thick and fast,
It's
too.
hitting me like a brick wall about the stuff that's going to be coming down the pike in the next few weeks.
We'll have plenty of episodes to catch up on everything.
Yes, we will.
So long story short, get your ass to Heartsapalooza on the 6th.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get your ass to the zoo. Get a beer in your hands or a non-alcoholic beverage. Or, what is this? What'd you order? Jamaican.
Ogasuya. Nigerian
Nigerian barbecue.
I got chicken wings and jollof rice. They have a full menu. Ogasuya does an unbelievable job. I love it when Ogasuya shows up to the zoo. I've been eyeballing that. I'm drooling over here. Like, you saw me spill my drink all over myself. Like, I'm ready to tuck into that Ogasuya food.
Sorry, go ahead, Josh.
Nope, you can go.
I had to ask real quick. I'm still stuck on moose hunting with Mitch just in the back of my head. So I was like, do we have a mascot or is it Mitch the Moose?
I mean, if I get sideways one of these nights and show up wearing like a bear pelt.
Oh, that's right. You want to wear the bear pelt, not the.
Maybe I earn my mascot position. But I think one fun thing that I have been kind of toying with in my brain because I keep seeing what's his name, Jacob, the guy on TikTok, the lobsterman.
Sure.
Yeah.
The main lobsterman. He's been very, very, very loud on social media and educating folks about the fisheries in Maine.
Yep.
In the lobstering, and like my brain just went to like, if we want to reproduce gulls, we gotta preserve them. So why don't we get a big lobster tail, right? Like just like a paper mache or like a lobster statue,
Notch them.
and notch the tail every time we score a goal. That's
a really good idea. That's a really.
it's
good
a
idea.
workshop.
Who told you that? You didn't think of that.
I did.
You did?
I did think.
I'm
of that.
impressed.
I did think of that because
Your
then
sister's
we
idea.
have no. It wasn't. She doesn't have good ideas like that. Come on now, Charles.
Notch the tail. I
Notch
love it.
the
You mean
tail.
so like a big.
Like a
Massive.
like even if we just hang a lobster tail down the side of our supporter section,
I think this
or we
needs to
get
happen.
or we get a big lobster statue next to the supporter section, and we have a comically large sized V notcher, and every time we score, we just notch the tail.
Every goal, not wins. Every
Not
goal.
every win, every goal
We're gonna run out of lobster tails.
That's a good problem to have.
It's a great
I'll
problem
take
to have.
that. If I run out of space on notching a giant lobster tail all season, I'm okay with that. I will
too.
make another one.
I agree.
But
No, that'd be great.
I think it's a cool idea. Just like in the same vein, like if there's anything else Maine related that can help.
That
like,
doesn't get much more Maine than that.
Shed light on like whatever our wildlife population is trying to achieve, our inland fisheries and wildlife. Anything that ties back to our local culture.
Yeah.
If we can hone that in, like my idea is like in the same vein of reproducing goals, like the whole reason for the notch on a lobster tail is they notch eggers. Any lobster that has active eggs on their
it's
on
been
their
caught.
underside, you know they're helping conserve the population of lobster here in Maine in our
throw it
fisheries.
back.
So if we're notching a lobster tail in the pursuit of reproducing goals, I'm all for it.
Bring us home, Josh.
Okay, so like, share, subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. Get involved in Discord. We need volunteers big time. All various stuff. So just reach out if you're interested in helping. I think that's it.
Always feel free to share an idea. We're trying to create this community from scratch. There's a lot of people doing a lot of good work, trying to get this thing off the ground and make sure we are on the map as one of the best supporters groups in American soccer across all leagues. We're getting there very closely. We're just a couple of 6 short months away from kicking off here in Portland, Maine. So get in early, get involved. If you have any questions, let us know. We're pretty active on answering those and making sure everybody is heard. A lot coming down the pike.
Thanks for listening.
Follow us on socials. DU, Instagram, Dirigo Union,
Instagram.
and we'll get this thing fucking going, boys.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Do the outro.